So this is for the app analytics, and I might have touched on this in a previous video. So if we want to understand, and we should want to understand, is our app being used? Hopefully yes. If not, we need to figure out how we get more traction. Because again, iOS, I don't know if Android does this, but iOS will automatically remove an app from your phone if you don't engage with it over. So we want to, entice people to stay active at least once a month, if nothing else, just to prevent the app from being removed. Because once it's removed, they're not going to see any of our notifications or things that go out. But the other thing is, the app is an opportunity for us to engage the GHMC family between Sundays. So as we're all going through our grueling day-to-day life, and getting stuck in the mud or the rut or whatever, the app is an opportunity for us to stay connected as a family. And I think there's a lot of opportunities we can take with blogs and things like that to, make interesting and meaningful interactions with our congregation. So what we really want to understand is, one, are people using it? And then two, what are they using? What aspects of the app do they like and are engaging with? And then what aspects are they not? So you'll probably have noticed on the dashboard that you see some high level statistics about, how many active devices have accessed the app this month. So we've had 36 different devices. That's pretty good for a small church. We've actually had 4 new devices load the app this month. And you can see how many sessions. So of those 36 devices, they had 290 sessions. So we are getting a decent amount of activity. But we can actually go deeper on this. So if you click on the third option down in the menu, this analytics, then it's going to show us a little bit more detail. Now you can look at this by day, you can look at this by week or month. You can filter by, last 7 days versus last 90. It's going to show you trends. And so you see that we can see the sessions. So that's how many times somebody opened the app and was interacting with that. You can see new users and you can see active users. You can start to see these trends. If we start to see these lines consistently trending down, that means that people are losing interest in the app. And so we really need to then think about, how do we engage them? Maybe that's some more push notifications in a meaningful kind of way. Maybe we need to work on putting some new content. So for instance, if we were to create an album for VBS pictures and put a push notification saying, hey, we just added VBS photos, go check them out in the app, that might engage more people to say, oh yeah, the app, and then open that and engage. So we really need to think about that strategically on, this is really monitoring our progress, as far as how well we're engaging with our congregation. But we should always be thinking about things that not only make them engage, but are meaningful, uplifting, interesting, nurturing for, the different GHMC family members. If you scroll down below that, you can see activity by topic. So this is the interesting point that tells us, obviously when everybody logs in, they land on the home screen. So that's not surprising. But what we do see is that sermons and prayer wall are the 2 items that people are interacting with the most. So these are really, if I were to say what are the 2 items in the app that's really working for people now, that's going to be sermons and prayer wall. So we certainly want to make sure we keep these things up. And then as we trickle down, we start to see, events. For instance, we just had VBS, so that doesn't surprise me, but that one's up a little bit. Then when we get into a long stretch in the calendar year where we don't have a lot of events, you're probably going to see this slack off quite a bit. We can see that people are using the notes. So, that tells me that I'm doing a terrible job of keeping up with the notes, since people are trying to use it, but I haven't been keeping those available. We can see that people are engaging with photos as well. But we're starting to see that these are the smaller buckets. So what I would take away from this is that, these 2, certainly we need to make sure that those are always up and working, because that's the thing that people are really targeting. And then for these middle categories, I would start to say, what do we need to do to make these more active? So do we need to put out more news? We haven't been doing very good about keeping up with the announcements in the app. The intent was to move them out of service and have those as video announcements. within the app, and we haven't really made that transition yet. But once we do, there's a good chance we can increase the usage on news as well. Photos, again, you know, the idea of putting VBS out and then putting a push blast to let people know that we did change something here, could drive that up as well. And then as we get over to some of the smaller things, then we might start to see that, you know what, first off, do these even make sense to be in the app? So it's perfectly acceptable to look at things in the app that it launched with and realize that they're just not really engaging for our congregation. Maybe it's not worth maintaining or keeping those up. We also might look at these and get, you know, new ideas on how we can make those better and make those something that people want to engage with. So that's what I would use the analytics for with the app. First off, you know, high level, make sure that we're keeping people engaged, but then specifically, you know, where do we target our efforts? What's working? What's not working? What do we need to brainstorm and try to figure out better? You know, or for instance, if we have a new idea, so maybe one of you has a new idea of something we could put in the app, what we would do is put that in, you know, let everybody know that it's there, make sure we advertise that. Maybe that's a push notification, maybe that's an announcement, but then monitor and see, are people engaging, yes or no, and then we can tweak from that. So this is the analytics for the app. We don't have analytics for the website right now. It kind of got lost when I migrated the website over to Tithely, but maybe eventually we'll, you know, we'll have something added later for the website as well. The website needs a lot of love. Once we do that, we should probably figure out how we get this type of tracking for the website as well.